After the panels have been carefully shipped and uncrated, craftsmen begin the delicate process of removing the glass from the confines of the existing lead, making sure no further damage occurs.
So this is a real piece of restoration. It is not renovation. In fact, it's more preservation than even restoration.
Cleaning is done only after a careful examination is made of the paint and its adhesion to the glass. Proper pH-balanced cleaning fluids and water-soluble labels are then used to ensure the original paint is left intact.
If it leaves the studio, if it's a quality that we know we're confident of and we're happy with the product, certainly it's going to meet the approval of the owner.
Experience and sensitivity are required when re-leading a panel, not only to ensure a perfect fit, but also to ensure the flow of the lead lines remains the same. The type of joint that was originally used by the French artisans is carefully being duplicated in the restoration of these windows. After the windows have been soldered, they are carefully grouted on both sides to ensure they are completely weatherproof. Care is taken not to endanger the painted surfaces. Whiting is then used to absorb any residual oils. The excess grouting is then removed, giving the window a crisp and clean appearance. The reinforcing bars are then stripped of old paint and corrosion and are sprayed with up to several coats of anti-corrosive paint.
Conrad Schmidt has gone through many hoops, many gyrations, and incredible effort to try to salvage pieces of glass that were heavily damaged, very severely damaged. And more often than not, they've come up with solutions that meet the first criteria, which is to save the original.
Restoring the windows at Notre Dame required all of the work to be completely reversible. Techniques have not yet been invented to permit permanent painted glass restoration. So studios like Conrad Schmidt have to be certain that whatever steps they take today can be reversed to allow the use of some future technology whenever it might be discovered. Here, for instance, this craftsman is trying to return the pigment of the paint to its initial intensity by painting a clear piece of glass and sandwiching it behind the original with copper foil. This is accomplished without placing any paint on the now faded, century-old glass. Cracked glass must also be repaired by means of a reversible epoxy.
There are many technologies that have evolved. Many things that people thought were wonderful 10 years ago have turned out to be disastrous. And we've taken a very cautious approach and hope that in the end that's the best approach. The decision has been made to let the windows age, try to preserve them as best we can, but not to interfere with the process, the aging process. The most necessary aspect of preservation that needs to be addressed and the most difficult for most stained glass studios is documentation.
We'll document the condition of everything. The paint, the tracing, the glass itself, where it was from, in our opinion, the condition it's in, the condition of the lead, the type of lead that was used.
Detailed, painstaking documentation is the foundation for high-quality restoration. The rubbings, countless photographs, and microscopic analysis all make up documentation. Each step in this process is a precise and necessary one.
We're even going so far as to try to match the type of soldering joint that the original windows had. When we tear the windows apart, Conrad Schmidt is mimicking not only the type of lead and the size of the lead, but they're also mimicking the flow of the lead, in the sense that if one horizontal piece crosses the vertical and the vertical is the one that's chopped up, then we're doing the same thing, because that kind of sensitivity does impact how well the window goes back together.
The biggest thing is the photographing of the window on site, each panel in place under natural light, then under interior light, removal of the panel, bringing the panels back to the studio, again photographing under a polarized light, always submitting everything to the architect and owner for their approval.
Thorough documentation of a project like the stained glass windows at Notre Dame paints a sometimes revealing picture of the first artists and their work.
There are all sorts of things you discover. You discover the names of the original artists scratched in the work, whether it be in the glass or in the decorating. You'll discover little notes. You discover a name of Brother Frederick, who cleaned the windows in 1889. So it's inscribed in the glass. And things begin to take on a very human quality. It's not just a stained glass museum. You know, it's a very wonderful, endearing place.
These stained glass windows are indeed transparent treasures. For more than a century, literally millions of visitors to the Church of the Sacred Heart of Jesus on the campus of the University of Notre Dame have been witness to the majesty of these magnificent windows. Through proper restoration, the stained glass windows and the stories they tell will continue to speak to millions of future faculty, students, and visitors alike. Their vibrant color and spiritual instruction will help inspire proper direction now and in the future of our ever-changing world.